...2016 was a massive year in gaming, and in my opinion, the introduction of the Humble Originals program was one of the best things to happen to video games all year. So what better way to celebrate the special little games that made the coming of each month that much more exciting than a look back at some of my favourites. I've come up with a couple of categories to showcase the creativity and hard work that indie devs have been putting in all year to give us 11 great Humble Original games. We're starting off with one of the toughest categories, as each of the Humble Original games this year had a unique visual art style with plenty of variation across the board. But one game stands out in my mind for its visual stylings, and that's Tailwind. Just look at this thing. Words can barely describe the gorgeous neon intensity that fills the screen at all times. Everything from the colour scheme to the rushing background contributes to a serious sensory overload of visuals that I think is absolutely fantastic. Another tough category for similar reasons, great audio design is a common factor in the Humble Original titles throughout the year. But there was one game that used sound design so superbly that its implementation became a core factor in the game's experience. Kapoka is a game about a bird in a city under military oppression. It's a very mellow experience with immersive sound effects and a beautiful music score, and the way it implements this background music is just brilliant. When you're exploring the city and listening to the citizens talk about their daily struggles, the music is dim and quiet. But when you take flight and leave the city behind, the music is bright, powerful, and uplifting. It's a great mechanic that has a simple poetic message behind its implementation that I found totally endearing. This category is all about the sweet gameplay. Disc Room has been on my desktop since its release, and booting it up alongside Spotify in preparation for a long multiplayer gaming session has just become a habit. It's a simple, quick, and mildly addicting game with plenty of challenge that I love to swap into when I'm loading into a new map or queuing for the next round. The controls are great, and the music couples with the intense gameplay to create a serious adrenaline rush. There weren't many multiplayer games this year, but the one that my friends and I got the most enjoyment out of time and time again was Battle Sloths. It's a ridiculous twin-stick shooter with great weapon variety, animation, and plenty of ridiculous humour. It may not have the level or gameplay variety to maintain interest for more than a few rounds, but the first 15 minutes or so are always filled with plenty of laughs and tense moments. This category celebrates the weird, experimental side of the Humble Original program with my favourite gameplay concept of the year. There were plenty of games with weird and wacky gameplay ideas, but Spoolside's time-travelling butterfly effect adventure platformer gameplay was a bonkers idea that not only worked well, but felt genuinely unique. Catgirl Without Salad was a bizarre side-scrolling space shooter with heaps of great ideas and plenty of charm. I loved the silly cartoon vibe that was consistent throughout the entire game, and the crazy characters, weapons, and plot has plenty of potential for growth. I'd love to see this game expanded upon with more levels, more power-ups, more bosses, and more great bubblegum pop tunes. So there we have it. 6 great games in 6 arbitrary categories, but I'd also like to give a shout out to the games that I didn't mention. Elephant in the Room kicked off the Humble Originals program with its ridiculous concept that gave me plenty of dumb laughs. Gunmetal Arcadia Zero punched me right in the nostalgia in the best way possible. Fidel had really fun and challenging gameplay and also had the cutest pup protagonist of the year. Keyboard Sports had a very unique gameplay concept with heaps of humour, and Yojin Brawl was a solid shared screen multiplayer game with great controls. So a big thanks and congratulations to all the indie devs involved in the Humble Originals program, and also to the Humble team for putting this whole thing together each month. I'd also like to thank the Culture Shock team, particularly Zach, for getting these videos up every month and for the great year that we've had as a website. Finally, a big shout out and thank you to the fans that come and check out these videos every month. I've had a blast making these videos all year, and I'd love to keep doing it well into the future, so thank you. Have a great holiday, and I'll see you in January.